Police can go downtown Harlem and pick up a kid with a joint in the streets, but they can't go into an elegant apartment and get a stockbroker who's sniffing cocaine. That quote was from Noam Chomsky. What this quote means is that the police will arrest anybody that looks shady, either from race or color. They won't go and try to arrest a white person doing crime. There's another way to look at it. Racism has brought so much chaos to the world, yet we still do it. The main branches are known as environmental racism, institutional racism, internalized racism, interpersonal racism, and structural racism. The main thing that is going to be talked about is institutional racism. Institutional racism is communicating with the policies that restricts one opportunity to get jobs or to get an education. Institutional racism is like schools that are only for white kids and then the schools that are only for darker skin color kids. Institutional racism is also when people with different races are given unequal opportunities than with the one with the same races. People use this way of thinking for when they are looking to hire people or look for people that they think is good, that qualifies. The points that will be discussed are racial profiling, social Darwinism, and a solution for racism. Institutional racism is caused by people that have been taught of the ideology of racial profiling. Racial profiling means the use of race or ethnicity as grounds for suspecting someone of having committed an offense. As stated by Britannica Online, racial profiling comes from the policies that restricts the opportunities in communities, schools, businesses, and other groups. It may not be on purpose, but it still can have a harmful effect. Some policies are racist. According to Tim Wise, an activist and expert on anti-racism, states there are more white people that do crime than the people with different races, but there are more people with different races in jail than white people. Persuasive science is what people use to make white people feel more superior. An example of persuasive science is social Darwinism. Social Darwinism basically is different countries saying they're better because they're wealthier than one other country, so they automatically believe that they are superior. White people telling the less wealthy people, white people, you're with us. Now, you may not get to live in the same type of comfort, but you are still with us. Then he mentions about the less wealthy people get put on slave patrol, which now correlates to police officers killing people with different races than themselves. Wise also mentions that the elites will say you may not have much, but at least you aren't like any other race than white. Rich white folks will tell the poor white folks to fight for the land, or else the other races would take their jobs. This is basically social Darwinism. Racism has a negative impact on people. People get scared of things that they don't understand, but those people may have a different race, but they are still human. What do we need to understand about people? We are all related in some way. There has to be a branch where we all came from. We are all similar. We just have to break out of our shell and just agree. Anti-racism people say this way of thinking can get rid of racism because it gives people that other way of thinking. Some people might listen to this solution because they don't really care if that other person is racist or not. Lots of chaos has been brought to our world because of racism, yet people still do it. They may still think they are superior or not, but they still have the mindset of the people in the old days. Institutional racism is found everywhere. The most commonly used one is racial profiling. Racism started in history because of social Darwinism. It was encouraged by social Darwinism. Using this information, we can learn which solutions would be the best to use and which viewpoints we should use to make our world a better place.